We have a little competition between these four items, rolling them down a ramp. The competitors here are going to be a cylinder, a sphere, a ring, and a rectangular cart with really tiny wheels. So let's take a look at what happens if we have this little race. Again, we've got the cylinder, the sphere, a ring, and then a cart with very, very tiny wheels. So let's check this out. Let's play that again. So you can see in order of finish, we're going to have the cart, followed by the sphere, followed by the cylinder, and then in very last place will be the ring. Let's look at that from another angle here. So again, there's your cylinder, your sphere, your ring, and your cart on the far right. And once again, we have the cart in first place, followed by the sphere, followed by the cylinder, and then in last place again is the ring. So let's see if we can calculate why they'd finish in that order. The approach we're going to take this time is looking at energy conservation. And so if we look at the mechanical energy in the system sort of before or when they're released, and set that equal to the mechanical energy of the system after when the object is at the bottom of the ramp. And so if we take as the before state of the system when everything is up at the top, when the objects are at the top, they'll have gravitational potential energy. And then at the bottom of the ramp, that gravitational potential energy will become translational kinetic because they'll be moving through space, moving forward, and rotational kinetic because they'll be spinning. So if we look at what each of these terms would be, gravitational potential energy will be mgh, the mass of the thing, times g times the height of the ramp. And then that's going to be equal to 1/2 mv squared plus basically a rotational 1/2 mv squared, 1/2 I omega squared, or v squared over r squared for omega squared, since the things are moving. Rolling without slipping. And so what will happen is the different objects will have different values for moment of inertia I. And so in general, or for these three shapes, the moment of inertia is going to tend to go like some coefficient c times mr squared. I guess with the exception of the cart, where this term is just going to be near zero. This entire term, the moment of inertia I of the four teeny tiny wheels, will be really small. Okay, and so if we continue here, we could solve for v after, say, slashing out the mass from each term. And we could solve for what the velocity would be, at least in the case of the three shapes on the left, and we get this expression for the velocity. With the exception of the cart, again, this moment of inertia term will just basically be near zero, so you could sort of think of the c value as just being near zero in the case of the cart. So this would be an expression for the velocity, but now let's get an expression for the acceleration of each of the objects down the ramp. And so we can use a kinematic equation here. And the initial velocity we'll take to be zero. We'll say that we release them from rest, which we did. And so this final velocity squared is going to look like 2a. And then your distance traveled along the ramp will basically be the height of the ramp divided by sine of the incline angle. And if you just draw a ramp yourself, you'll be able to see that, that geometry. And so finally, you could get this expression for, well, v final we already have an expression for. So it's the square root of this thing. So if I square it, we'll get 2gh over 1 plus c, and then equals the right-hand side of this equation. We could cancel away the 2's and cancel away the h's. And if we solve for the acceleration, we're going to get this expression here for the acceleration. Well, let's take a look then at the acceleration of each as they go down the ramp. So here's our four shapes. Here are the moments of inertia of each of these things, where again, the moment of inertia of the tiny wheels will just be very small. And so we just derive this expression, A equals g sine theta over 1 plus this coefficient. And what will happen is, in the case of the cylinder, you'll get 2/3 g sine theta. If you plug in, 1 over 1 plus 1/2, or 1 over 3/2 would give you 2/3 as this coefficient in the front. And you'll get coefficient of 5/7, 1/2, and then approximately 1, because the moment of inertia of the cart is so tiny. It's as though C is, of the wheels on the cart, I should say, is so tiny that the C is near 0, and so you'll just get this acceleration of g sine theta down the ramp. Well, what that means, if you compare all these things, is g sine theta will be the largest of these, so the cart will be in first place. 5/7 g sine theta is next, so the sphere will be in second. And 2/3 g sine theta follows that, so that'll be third place. And then the very last place will be that ring. So again, it should go cart, sphere, cylinder, ring. So let's check the footage again. Cart, sphere, cylinder, ring. Let's see what we get. Cart, sphere, cylinder, ring. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found that to be helpful.